Invasion of Earth, or at least that's what I'm calling it right now. I think the original Japanese name is like Chikiyu Shinyu Yakuda or something like that, which I'm sure I said that terribly. I think the da at the end might be like doing or something like that. I don't know for sure. So like doing an invasion of Earth, but I'm just going to call it Invasion of Earth. This is another release from Tokyo University Society Creative Staff Club. This is from their 2019 lineup. Version 26 was the release, I believe. This is a cute little like 2D platformer with a kind of Kirby or Avenging Spirit-esque concept to it, where basically you're a little alien who can go around and the only thing you can do is tackle people, and your tackle is very weak and it's very short ranged. So you go tackle the people around the stages, and when you do that, you can take over their bodies, and then at that point you can use their guns and things like that. So the game really focuses on some simple platforming overall, and then also basic puzzle solving to progress. So it's a very simple game overall. There's only like 10 stages or so it doesn't really need a lot of depth to it in general. There's only about 4 different types of humans you can take over, and each of them are generally the same in terms of how they play, but there are some different factors to them. Like the standard humans are pretty weak, so you can knock them out really easily and possess them, but that means they're the weakest of all the characters to kind of use. Then you have like a powered up soldier who basically is really strong, and so if you pick him up, you'll get to be able to do a lot more damage, but he's really hard to capture, so you can't really take him head on, or else even if you're using a weak character, chances are you're going to die in that. And there's like a zombie one, which even if you possess them, they'll revive in that spot. And then finally there's like a toxic one who drains your HP and it can't shoot, and then also you need to get like an antidote to get out of their body. So it is kind of like a trap character in some ways, but a lot of this game is kind of like working around the limitations of each character. So each human kind of has its own role in terms of puzzle solving. Like for example, the toxic characters might be in a room all by themselves, but you need to use them to open a door, and so you have to find a way to use the toxic character, get out of that room as fast as possible, and then go find an antidote as fast as possible so you can get out of its body and things like that. But that's kind of the most complicated puzzle of all these things, and that one's a little difficult to figure out at first because the game doesn't really tell you can get out of them with an antidote, but once you find the antidote, it's pretty clear what's happening there. When you are the alien itself as well, you can go ahead and like crawl around on the floor, so a lot of times they kind of force you to abandon your body and things like that. But generally though, I mean, that's kind of it. I mean, it is pretty much using human bodies to open doors, combat enemies, and then utilizing, the toxic ones in certain special scenarios, and then occasionally getting into a couple of boss fights. And these boss fights are pretty straightforward overall, but they use the environment as ways to generally kind of challenge you. So one is like a old man like hiding in a room by himself, like electrocuting the entire floor, and there's just soldiers all up the sides of the level and things like that, and they're all shooting at you. But all you really need to do is sit there and shoot at the old man. It's just trying to actually get in a position to shoot him without getting killed yourself is the challenge, right? And there's like a magical girl at the end, and she only really shoots forward, but it's all about kind of dodging these lasers in the level, evading the zombies and using the zombie's body to go ahead and attack her from different angles to ultimately defeat her, kind of thing. So for only 10 stages, I don't really expect that much, but I think they do a really good job of utilizing what limited resources there are here to kind of run you through a variety of different scenarios and make you do a variety of different like combat situations where you'll have to do more things than just sit there and shoot at somebody. You'll have to think about how to flank someone or how to catch them from a slightly lower angle and things like that. And then the puzzle solving, again, fairly simple, but it does kind of require you to figure out like what route am I going to be going down, and like what kind of character can I take with me into this environment, and what does that mean for how like my advantage in that environment. Most of the time that just means if this room only has a crawl space, guess what? You're going to be an alien instead that can only tackle things. But it's nice to see these kind of things be presented and the player be able to interact with them with how short this game is. Again, Doujin games, you don't need a lot of depth to do something interesting, I think. So, but yeah, it's a simple platformer and it's a lot of fun.